In this watercolor tutorial, we are going to paint these dreamy abstract lotus flowers. This tutorial is a perfect watercolor painting for beginners or really any level. Before we get started painting, I'm going to quickly go over the supplies that I used. So here my paper is a size 8 by 10 inches and it is cold press watercolor paper from Arches. And it's from a watercolor block, so you'll either want to use a watercolor block or you'll want to securely tape down your watercolor paper onto a surface because we will be applying a lot of water to our painting, and taping it down will just help prevent a lot of warping. I used one brush for this painting. I used my large 12 brush from Princeton Neptune, and it's a round brush. The paints I used are these blues here from the Woodlands paint set from Art Philosophy. I also used Moon Glow from Daniel Smith and Ultramarine Violet, also from Daniel Smith. The pinks I used are from Daniel Smith as well. I used Bordeaux and Rhodonite Genuine. And then for the gold in this painting, I used a gold from the Metallic Accents pan set from Art Philosophy. And all of the supplies that I just shared are linked below in the description for you if you'd like to check them out on Amazon. In the description, there's also links to some free watercolor art challenges as well as a free watercolor beginner class that you might like. And now let's get started with this tutorial. Before we get started painting, we need to transfer the outline of these lotus flowers onto our watercolor paper. So as you can see, I have my lotus flower outlines on my paper, and here is kind of what I did. I took a sheet of graphite transfer paper from Arteza, laid it on my watercolor paper, and then I laid my sketch on top. And then I took a pencil and just kind of traced the flowers. This will just kind of help you know where the flowers will be in your painting. So after you do that, it is time to actually get started painting. You'll want to take your largest watercolor brush. So here I am taking my size 12 Princeton Neptune round brush, and I'm going to load it with a lot of water. And what we're going to do, we're going to wet our entire watercolor paper. And I'm going to try and work quickly. And you do not want to have puddles, but you want your paper to be very wet. Okay, when your paper is fully wet, it is now time to drop paint onto your painting. So I'm first going to take this pink here. It's called Rhodonite Genuine from Daniel Smith. And I'm going to take this and I'm just going to kind of drop it where these lotus flowers will be. And I'm just kind of not being super detailed about it because when this dries, it'll be a very light, soft pink. And we are only painting just this one layer for now, and when this layer dries, we'll add another layer. And then when you do that, you want to clean your brush, and then you can take like a blue. I'm going to be using these blues here. So I think I'm going to take this mist color from the Woodlands pan set. And I'm just going to kind of drop it in around the edge here. I'm going to take some more water in my brush, kind of move this around, move it down. I want there to be kind of like a very light blue around the flowers. I'm also going to take some of my, it's called Moon Glow from Daniel Smith, and add that into the corners here just to help make it like dark around the corners in the bottom. This will just give the painting depth. And then I am going to add another kind of blue, maybe add some of that up here. Now the top part of this painting, I don't want it to be very blue because this is basically what I'm trying to go for. This is like the sky kind of. I want it to be light up here because I want to give a misty effect. So up here, I don't want there to be as much blue. So I'm just kind of blending this lighter blue over here. I'll go ahead, maybe add some of this purple. I have some purple here. It's called Ultramarine Violet from Daniel Smith. I think I'm going to add some of that in. Just a tiny touch of it in some areas. So yeah, just have fun with this. Add different kinds of colors. I'm going to add some of this pond color from the Woodlands pan set and add some of that in. And you can keep adding colors or paint until your paper starts to dry. Once your paper starts to dry, you might want to just let it fully dry and then add another layer. I'm going to take more of this mist color, add some at the bottom here. And then I'm going to take more of my Moon Glow from Daniel Smith. And I'm just going to add some more at the bottom here. Then kind of make some horizontal brush strokes, like this. Then I'm going to add some Moon Glow to like kind of where the bottom of these lotus flowers will be. I feel like this is pretty good for the first layer, so I'm now going to let this completely dry, and then we will add a second layer. To help make your painting dry quicker, you can use a hair dryer. I'm thinking that's probably what I'll do. When your painting is completely dry, you'll notice that the colors kind of faded a little bit, and this is normal. So this is kind of why I like to add a second layer almost always to my watercolor paintings, because I really like my watercolor paintings to be colorful and vibrant. So in the second layer of this painting, we are going to add more color, and we are going to add more detail to the flowers as well as the water. I'm still going to take my size 12 round brush here from Princeton Neptune, and let's see, I think first we will go ahead and add some water again to our painting, and again use the wet and wet method, but I don't think I'm going to add any up here because I really like how this looks up here. So I don't really want to mess with this too much. Instead, I want to add some more depth down here and like more blues and stuff. So I'm going to take my large brush, dip it in my water jar, and I'm just going to add some water in this corner right here and down here. I'm going to leave this area unpainted for now, and then kind of up here. And then I'm going to take my Moon Glow from Daniel Smith and add that in. And I really want this to be the final, basically the last layer. I probably will do another layer, but just in a few areas to add more detail. So I'm trying to add more depth down here and then up a little bit. Then I'm wetting my brush, cleaning it slightly, and then I'm going to take, let's see, how about this mist color right here from the Woodlands pan set. So it's kind of like a blue-green. I'm going to add that in. Okay, and then I'm going to clean my brush a little bit. You don't have to all the way. And then take some water and just kind of blend this up a little bit, and then over here. Basically, I'm just trying to take some clean water and blend this paint into that lighter first layer. And then, now I'm going to paint in the petals on these lotus flowers. So for that, I think I'm first going to start out with Bordeaux from Daniel Smith, which is this here, and then I'll also use some of this pink. So I'm going to take Bordeaux, then I'm just going to kind of loosely paint in like one side of these petals, like this. And yeah, some of it might fade, and I like that. That's kind of what I want to go for. And then I'm cleaning my brush a little bit. There's still some of that pink in my brush. And then I'm just going to kind of paint in these petals a little bit more. I'm going to take this other pink, Rhodonite Genuine, from Daniel Smith. I'm going to add some of that in. So I'm basically kind of dropping it into this wet paint. And then maybe even a little bit in the water. Because I'm thinking, you know, the water will, like, it reflects the flower. It's kind of why I'm doing that. And then it's probably a good idea to leave some of that lighter layer of the flowers unpainted, which I probably should have done on this one. So if you painted the entire flower, you want some of that lighter layer exposed, you can go ahead and just kind of like wipe some of this away with a clean brush. So that's what I'm doing. I'm dipping my brush in a little bit of water, wiping away, and then dabbing on my paper towel, cleaning that brush again, taking a little bit of water, not too much water, and then kind of wipe away. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this flower here. So again, I'm starting with the Bordeaux from Daniel Smith, and I'm still painting with that large brush. In fact, I have a feeling I might be using this brush for the entirety of this painting. And then again, yeah, I'm going to take this Rhodonite Genuine from Daniel Smith and kind of paint in these petals a little bit more. And then I'm going to let some of this pink kind of blend into the water. And as I'm adding this pink to the water, I'm making like horizontal brush strokes. I'm going to add some drips. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take Moon Glow from Daniel Smith and I'm going to add it to the bottom of these lotus flowers and add some water to them like that. And then you can tilt your painting down. So I'm sorry if you can't really see, but and then like kind of add more water to the base of the flowers and let it kind of drip down. Now I'm taking some water and I'm just kind of adding some more detail up here. And then I think I'm going to kind of drag some of this away. I feel like it's pretty dark right here, so I'm going to kind of take my brush, drag some away, wipe it on my paper towel. It's really easy to add too much and forget about like the highlights. At least I struggle with that. The next thing I want to do for the final part of this painting, I want to add some just fun things. I want to add some paint splatters, and I also want to add some gold paint. So let's do that. And then there's also a chance I might add a few other, maybe some more detail to the flowers. But let's first start with maybe some gold. So this is from Metallic Accents from Art Philosophy. So I'm just going to kind of wet this with my large brush again. I'm using my large size 12 round brush. And I'm just going to add a little bit and just see kind of kind of what happens. My paper is still wet in some areas, so I'm just going to drop this in, let it kind of do its thing, see what happens. I might add some gold like up here, kind of blend it into my paper. Okay, and then I'm going to add some paint splatter. So I'm taking my same brush, loading it with water, wetting this pan as much as I can, and then tap, like put your finger out and then tap your brush against your finger. And then you can choose another color that you want to add paint splatters with. I'm going to choose this Rhodonite Genuine from Daniel Smith. So like the gold, I am loading the pan here with a lot of water. Okay, I want to kind of add some more like maybe paint drips. And I'm thinking kind of like maybe at the base of the lotus flowers. So I'm going to take my large brush again, the same one I've been using throughout the whole painting. And I'm going to take a Moon Glow. It's a Moon Glow here from Daniel Smith. Add it to this well, and I'm going to try and add a lot of water. And then maybe I'll even add a touch of this purple to it. You can basically use whatever color you want. I kind of want to go with like a dark color, so I feel like that will be best. Okay, so I'm first going to start with this one here. Just kind of painting in the bottom of this lotus flower, and then I'm going to tilt my painting up and let it drip down. And I'll show you here in a second what it'll look like. Okay, I'm also going to take some of this Bordeaux from Daniel Smith and add it into the drip here, because again the water is reflecting the flower. And then I'm also going to kind of maybe take some of this away. Paint in a horizontal line like that, and then kind of blend this over here. So I'm just taking some water in my brush and just kind of working this a little bit more, but not too much. And kind of just blend up with some water, some clean water. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this lotus flower down here. So again, I'm taking some Moon Glow. And then when you tilt your painting, to help with like a drip, you can keep tapping your brush to the area you want it to drip more. So like this, as you tilt your paper. So I'm cleaning my brush, and then with some water, I'm just going to kind of fade this over here, and then over here a little bit. And then I'm also going to drop in some Bordeaux, this pink, into that. And then kind of just blend with some water. One final thing I want to do before being done with this painting, I want to add some more paint splatters. So I am going to take this mist color here, add some water to the the well, so I want a lot of water. So as you can see, it's like very watery. So I'm loading my brush with it. Then again, I am tapping my brush on my finger. I don't want to do too much. It is easy to go overboard with the paint splatters. I'm going to do the same thing with this purple. So I'm loading the well here with a lot of water. And then my brush. Okay, I'm cleaning my brush. And let's say you don't like a paint splatter. You can take a brush here that is clean and just kind of soak it up. So this brush here is dry and clean. So if there are some paint splatters you don't like, I mean, it won't take them like perfectly away. I kind of like that, like how they're faded. So if some are just too dark, you can just kind of soak them up. I do want to add some more gold paint splatter, so I'm going to do that and then be done with my painting. I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. Don't forget, if you post your artwork to Instagram, to tag me, AllisonLionArt, and use the hashtag AllisonLionArtTutorial. And I also have some free watercolor challenges in the description below, as well as a playlist of 50 and counting watercolor tutorials. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.